Alright guys, Supreme Kami over here. So this is time to cover the new buff to portrait over here. So I am over on the actual website first because I do want to give you guys a good comparison between the English translation and then looking over at it at the Chinese translation, because there is like a huge difference in terms of how players is able to intercept it. So in terms of, this is obviously the English version, and then that's pretty much it, you know. Just a very generic enemy melee damage plus 25%. So I think a lot of people just looking at this right now is like, is my enemy getting the melee attack up, or am I getting it? So I think that is pretty much like the misconception a lot of people are having. So I will definitely be doing all the testing in this video in a shortly matter. But if we go over to the Chinese version, if you do your language changing, you're getting a whole block of text over here. So you got like a whole chunks over here, while the English is like, what? What are they doing? In terms of this one, I do find the actual language just slightly different. I guess in terms of translating it, well, in game works the same, but this portion of it is enemy, and the like they have these over here just to symbolize is whether or not it's an all power, EX skill, melee, or shot. So so this portion of it is attack, and this one is like a rate up, right? So how they're wording it is like a rate up raises by the actual percentage. So I guess even in this one, it's a little bit more easier to convey into, oh, it's actually not your enemy doing the like getting that raise. It's actually yourself. So I don't know. It's just the word that they're like. It's just the way that they had it worded is confusing. So so let's actually go back into the game now. So all right. So in terms of the overall game now, I do actually have two kind of testing for you guys over here. So you guys can see that I have two 50% over here. So let's kind of start out with this one first. So this one, you can kind of call it like a one-for-one testing, because what I have done in terms of the overall portrait. So I went ahead and done something up kind of like this over here. So we have something of shooting power boosted by 25%, and then we have a shooting power boosted by 25%. So what I want to do, I want to replicate just to see, is there any difference between our current normal power boosting versus, let's say, something like this, right? I have over here enemy shooting damage plus 25% on both slots. So I just want to see what kind of differences we can be getting, because coincidentally both of them are actually shooting base. In terms of, let's say, the actual in terms of the actual shot attack, I would definitely say it is a little bit low. So in case anything, like in case let's say, oh, one is actually better, it may not be like an accurate reading, just because of the fact that as the number does go higher, obviously the damage differences is going to increase. So so that's what I want to show off in this video. So I also do have intact it with an actual just another normal EX skill power boosting as well. So I just want to see if we can expect anything different. So in terms of the actual skin, I'll actually change it to something that's a little bit more easy to read, just because in terms of what the portrait, I do have it in auto mode. So I feel like I want to activate, just to have something to activate a little bit more easier. So I think I am gonna go for the skin, just the regular arena skin. And then in terms of the EX skill, like the EX control, I will use the prime cannon. So this is gonna be like a good hitting mark for you guys over here. So we're just gonna save the skin real quick and then hop into the test. So in terms of the actual testing ground, I am gonna hop over to the mission creation. Alright, so I applied the skin in this one over here. So I guess the first testing we can actually do, so let me just test straight 50% the plus damage, and then we can do with this over here. So I just want to see with you guys over here, like what kind of differences we can get. And if any of you guys are actually out there testing, do let me know what kind of result you guys are getting, because I do want to get a lot more data into like, oh, what, like how is it for everyone. So that is probably what we'll do. So I do have to have this one on auto. Wait, no, not this one. This one I have to be operating in the auto mode of it. So I think for both testing, I'll actually just have it on auto so that we can kind of get like a good reading. So yeah, let me hop into the mission creation, and then I'm going to show you guys the setup, and then we can just actually hop in. Alright guys, so this is gonna be the enemy base that I have up here. So I don't know if this is gonna be a little bit too much for, let's say, my build to handle. Just because we do have a little bit of a kind of defensive line over here, or stat over here. 57,000 armor, I think that should be a pretty good area where I want the kind of like the testing unit to have. So in terms of the other effects, let me see. So in terms of the other setting, I did set everything at base 100, so we're not gonna get any modification. In terms of the actual EXQ reload, I did actually set that to 1000. But yes, that's not really gonna change anything per se. So let me do hop in now. So first thing first, I am gonna test out the straight up 50% shooting power boosting, and then after that we will go ahead and test out the other one. So the one with the damage up, so the damage plus 50%. So this is going to be an overall build, so 28.9k. So I don't think we are going to get anything of a, in terms of like the actual stat wise, they are neck and neck. So this one we are looking at 28.8, so it's only up by 100, so I don't expect any like big outlandish difference. So let me put this on auto just to make everything even, and then let's hop in. Alright, so we are in. So in terms of the overall map, this is what we are looking at. So not anything special, it's just like enemy in literally right in front of me. So let me see. So that's like a 17,000, 17.1, 16 point something. So that's good. That's gonna be like the reading that you guys want to be looking at. And then now we are gonna hop into the other testing. So I might as well not even gonna make the cut right here, so you guys can see that I'm actually switching over to the actual shooting damage plus 25%. I have that twice, so let's just kind of call that 50% in total. Alright, so gonna test run again, and then we can swap over to this build. And in terms of the actual combat power, it's actually lower, but in terms of everything else, they're pretty much the same. So let me double check one more time. So I do not have the secondary portrait active, or the one I don't need, so this one is the same. So test control are pretty much neck and neck. So did happen to find this one on like one-on-one testing, so not much of a discrepancy in any case here. So all right, let's hop in now. All right, we are in once again. So this time around we have this here. So let's see. I do expect maybe a little bit of a damage increase potentially, so let's see. Oh, so this one, yeah, I would definitely say if my stat was higher in terms of the damage fluctuation, it may not be that bad. So we can see that I scored around 18.k something. I just happened to see one tick that was like 17,000 area. So just from this alone, we can just kind of say, oh, let's say we can just kind of make a assumption at the moment that the damage plus percentage is actually a little bit better. But now in terms of the actual testing, let me actually text on the EXQ power boosting, and I just want to see what kind of differences we can be getting. So all right, so that's that. But if you guys do want to learn more about how it actually works, I'll definitely leave a link in the description below about the GNL Discord server, because we got folks in there out here trying to see how it actually multiply, how does it actually work. So if you want to know more details and actually ask the person like how it works, let's say, definitely do so, because like I'm not gonna sit here and pretend I know how this actually works myself. All I can do for you guys is actually use the actual portrait and test it out. So that's probably the best I can do for y'all at the moment. But if you guys want to know the actual map calculation, go right ahead and join the server, and you guys would probably be like, why is this map? Are we in map class right now? So I do have both EXQ added on to both builds. So let me go ahead with the first build first, and then not this one. Let's test out this one first. Just want to keep it the same order and just gonna see how it goes. All right, so back at it again and again. It's okay. So this one does have to wait a little bit. So let's see. So I definitely expect a little bit more damage. Okay, after beating that. So now we're like, yeah, damage fluctuation, right? So we got somewhere around 20k, 19k, and then 22k. So definitely not the best test control of this run right here. It could definitely be better. So Even with the damage fluctuation, I do want to see what happens if I use the other build. So let's see. So let me swipe to here. This one does have an EXQ tacked on already, so let's go ahead and see how it goes. Let me just click on the button. Come on. Eager to see what kind of difference we can expect, or maybe the same. Who knows, right? Who knows? So click on that real quick. So if you see anything higher, oh yeah, yeah. Even look, so when I tacked on that EXQ power boosting, it was definitely a very even ground. So I don't know, man. Like, is it better? Is it worse? Like, I can't really tell just by looking at this over here. So what we'll actually be doing, because I do have another example that I want to show you guys already. So let me just kind of go back into the actual build. So just based off from the testing, I can't just say one is better than the other straight up. So what we will actually be doing, I do have another power build kind of going on over here. So this one I actually did manage to find kind of like a semi one-to-one in a way. This one is roughly about 80k in terms of shot attack, and this one is 80.4. So in terms of, let's kind of go over briefly about some of the portrait with you guys here. So so in terms of this version, let me just call it the regular. So this one is going to be the regular boosting, and then in terms of this one is gonna, I'm just gonna call it the damage, right? Damage plus, right? Yeah. We're gonna name it the damage plus. So let me just kind of do a little bit of a brief explanation so you guys know what kind of test control we are looking at, or what kind of portrait we're looking at. So in terms of this one specifically, we are talking about anything that is shooting power boosting related, and then everything else that is, let's say, EXQ power boosting. So those are going to be the only two portrait language you will see in this portrait, or this and portrait 1, or even portrait 2. So these are going to be something that is as follow. Some, like, I went the crazy route to actually put a shooting build under a O-Fighter, just because I was happened to find this one exactly the same. So that's that. I believe in terms of the actual percentage wise, I think actually I actually did jot it down somewhere in here. So let me see. In terms of the actual base, let's say combined, for example, we are talking about 289% everything combined, because I believe for what I was told, like the actual calculation, like shooting and EXQ, they actually combine. So I mean, like, okay, let's just go with that. So in terms of this one, that is what we're rocking with. So that's that. You know, you guys saw everything. I did even included all the bonus traits, so those are actually tacked it on as well. For this example specifically, I did not add in any of those above EXQ effects traits, just because I don't know if, let's say, the calculation is gonna be something else. So I don't want to bother doing that with this testing over here. So strictly this one is going to be shooting power boosting, and then EXQ power boosting solely. So if we move right over to this build, you guys can see that in, oh, not this one, excuse me, whoops. You guys can see in terms of the overall portrait, they're pretty much the same. You know, this one, let me just kind of do like another brief rundown again. So you guys can see everything is pretty much enemy shooting damage up by 25%. We have something enemy on damage up by 25% again, and then 17%. That one is not really going to get activated, so you guys can just ignore that. This one, I did happen to have a little bit of those regular EXQ power boosting, just a few, not by much. I think I have this one, and then in terms of, let's say, torso right there, I have another one of those. So those are going to be the only two that I have. So in combination, in terms of the actual EXQ boosting, I do have 65% of that, and then in terms of the actual damage plus percentage, I do have over 209%. So if we talk about everything in total, just adding all those percentage, we do come up to a 292. So in terms of the actual differences, we are only off by around 3%, you know, variant. So I don't expect anything much of a difference. Gotta keep that in mind. This one is actually on a middle shooter, so that is not, I'm not going to be activating any, let's say, limit breaks. So I'm not gonna set any of these over here. So we're gonna have a pretty clean run per se. So I think now you guys do understand the overall testing, you know, units over here. We can go right ahead and do some more kind of, you know, damage comparison. Alright guys, so this is what we are going to be looking at. So I actually cannot use the skin that I was planning to use, just because of the fact that this under this build we do pack a lot of power. So I could even get like a few magazines going on, so that's why I'm just going to go straight use the prime cannon, and hopefully we can spot any difference. Kind of keep that in mind as well. In terms of this EXQ, we do gain a 39% attack buff as well, so it's not like I do have any buff trait on the build, so that should be fine. So with that in mind, I do wonder what kind of differences we can be expecting. So with this one, would the regular be lower, or would the damage plus be lower? So let's do hopping out and see how things go now. Let's see. No limit break right there, so simply just gonna click on the EXQ and then remember what kind of number we are looking at. So let's see. So what was that? Honestly, I can't even see what that was. I like when I'm editing this, I'm probably gonna see it, so you guys can pause. Like right now, you guys can pause and take a look at that number. But I guess that was that good enough? I can't tell. I can't really tell right there, so I guess we'll just hop into the other one. Alright, so now we'll go ahead and test out the damage plus, and then we'll see if we expect anything different. Maybe, I don't know. I didn't even see the actual damage output on the other one, so if I do spot anything of a little bit different, then we can just say, oh, this one, assuming just based on this testing here is good. But you guys can definitely let me know your own results, and then we can just all compare and stuff, right? So let's see. Whoa. So from what I saw from that one, we were looking at the 14, 15. This one is like literally up by roughly about 10 to 9k, right? Oh wow, my gosh. What do you guys think then? What do you guys think from this series? So is it is it safe to assume, assume that the damage plus part rate is actually better than regular? Can we even say that? I guess for the finale testing, we'll just hop over to like a friend battle. In terms of the friend battle, I can't safe to assume what kind of part rate the enemy is running, but we can, I guess, gauge what kind of difference output we can expect. And let me find an actual, what typing am I running? So I need to find a S attribute so we can get like the greater damage output differences, if there's any discrepancy. So let me define a perfect, testing enemy, a friend, and then we'll see how things goes. I actually found a very good example for a friend here over here. So this one was probably, I think it was on my friend list, that's that enemy. So and here's this one specifically, this one is going to be an outrider. So what's bad about outrider specifically is the fact that they charge in and they have guard. So I don't know if that's going to play like a difference in a way. Like we'll definitely, like, starting out, the damage is definitely gonna be lower. I would definitely have to say, but I guess we'll just try and see how things works out. So hopefully the guard does not block too much on my actual attack here. So okay, let's see. Yeah, you guys can see that the guard is activated right there. So okay, so is that like only 16,000 ish area? So yeah, we won't be able to take down the enemy. So okay, so I guess I'll move right on to the other build then. So around, we are using the damage plus. So same thing. I'm just gonna execute the EXQ and hope for the best. So this is gonna be the final testing for you guys here. So if we expect anything different here, can I even activate that? I cannot. I don't even have enough initial charge. Wow, how sad. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we got a different number there. So yeah, this is definitely a sloppy testing right here, just because I don't have enough initial charge boosting. But just from that alone, we can just kind of see that the damage plus right now, just look at it, seems to be a little bit better. So in terms of actual practices, like how does it work in terms of like what kind of good ratio, I think that is definitely still in like a to be determined kind of situation, I guess, in a way. But I think that's gonna be pretty much it in terms of my end over here. So you guys can definitely let me know what kind of result you guys are expecting when you guys are using those kind of portrait over here. So I definitely do have high hopes for this portrait, and probably gonna be like the new beta from starting on now. But with that being said, that is gonna be pretty much it for me, and then I'll catch you guys all on the next one.